as I understand it. And Alison Rose, the NatWest chief executive, has also indicated to the bank's board that she will accept an annual incentive payment that is awarded to her, the size of which is not yet clear. Now, of course, this would be interesting at any point in time, Ian, but at the moment, with the cost of living crisis dominating the headlines, it's going to be interesting to see how the bank and the Treasury, which is responsible for signing off NatWest's bonus pool, respond to questions about how appropriate this is in the context of the broader economic environment. Now, of course, this bonus pool will be increased against a backdrop of improved performance at NatWest. It made £3.6 billion of profit in the first 9 months of the year. So things have certainly taken a turn for the better at the bank. But nevertheless, awkward questions await Ms Rose and her colleagues when NatWest announces its results later this month.
So that sounds like there's a fire alarm going off in the background. You better get out of there. Thank you. Now, Facebook has seen its daily active users fall for the first time in 18 years. Chief Executive Mark Zuckerberg said the firm's sales growth had been hurt as audiences, especially younger users, had left for rivals. Well, shares of Meta, which is the parent company of Facebook, slumped by more than 20% in after-hours trading in New York. Well, let's get more on this now and speak to Sophie Lundy. She's equity analyst at Hargreaves Lansdown. Sophie, very good morning to you. I mean, this after-hours sell-off knocked some $200 billion from Meta's stock market valuation. What really spooked investors here?
Hi, good morning. There's no other way to put this other than a pretty dire set of results. In terms of what spooked investors specifically, that's kind of twofold. The first one is that stagnating usership base is really bad news. And the second is the narrative around advertising revenue and overall revenue growth for next time they report is going to be potentially as low as 3%. And that is Facebook's bread and butter. And it also flies directly in the face of the narrative that we've had from Google parent Alphabet in recent days, where advertising revenue is flying. So this is a share of audience problem, and that is causing pretty big question marks for the investment case.
Yes, I mean, I mentioned the flight to competitors such as TikTok, but there's also been another significant thing, which was that Apple changed some of the privacy settings on the iPhone, and that's also eaten into Facebook's earnings.
It has indeed. Again, the thing with this is that as much as that is something that is largely outside of Facebook's control and is part and parcel of its huge scale, again, at the same time, we had Alphabet saying that they were able to brush that off, and it's not spooking away revenue and profit in the same way. So really, there are questions to be had about how much of this is to do with them just palming off a problem to something else, when really their rivals are, well, advertising rivals are managing to really offset it in a much, much more effective way. I think, as I said, this is far more from a rhetoric perspective. We are looking at the competitive landscape, and they are losing ground.
Now, of course, Mark Zuckerberg is trying to take the company in a new direction, investing more in augmented reality, hence the company's change of name. I mean, do these results justify that strategic change of direction?
From where I'm sitting right now, no, they don't. The huge levels of investment that are going into new projects like the metaverse, it's very easy to be supportive of that as long as the top line is still growing. I mean, you look back as recently as maybe 2015. Research and development spend was around the $3 billion mark. And by 2023, that's going to be well north of $30 billion. And to justify that level of investment, you have to have tangible action as to how the metaverse is actually going to work, and also proof that it will work. And we don't have either of those at the moment.
Absolutely. And it's worth pointing out that part of the business is still heavily loss-making. I mean, when do you see it turning a profit?
That is the ultimate question. I really wish that I had the answer. It's really pretty much impossible to answer that until we have, as I said, tangible is the word, tangible action points for how the metaverse is actually going to work. How is the monetization exactly going to work? Where's the revenue coming from? So until that turns a corner, it's really pretty much impossible to have a view.
I mean, Sophie, when you look at the stock market valuation of Meta compared with some of its peers, such as Google, Amazon and Apple, I mean, it's trading already on a far lower price earnings multiple than those stocks. I mean, do you see a floor in the share price at some point?
Look, I mean, really, where Facebook or Meta is concerned, there are a lot more worries surrounding it, and that is reflected in that lower valuation. But one thing I would point out that I've not really said, we're still looking at a business that has, about 2 billion daily users. That is phenomenal, and that is a really huge asset to still have. So I would argue that there is potentially not the full potential reflected in the current valuation, but it is subdued because there is a higher degree of external risk.
All right, Sophie, thanks for bringing that perspective to us. Good to see you this morning. Thank you. Well, still to come here on Ian King Live. We'll be having a look at how global markets are doing this Thursday morning. Stay with us.
First and foremost, I think it's the comfort factor, and let's face it, the world around us is slightly messy at the moment. I think we can just find a little oasis in a really simple, joyful word game. Its rules are very simple. We are set the same challenge as everybody right across the world every day. And there's only one, we're rationed to one. So I think it's teaching us a level of patience that, hasn't been required of us really for years, because there are so many apps out there, obviously, that offer endless plays of things. So I think it's really special from that point of view. I know people assume that I'm going to be a real strategist about this, and there are a lot of people who try and work out algorithms and things. But to be honest, I just dive straight in. There's probably a little bit of kind of, I don't know, bargaining, I suppose, on my part, in that I will go with one of the most frequently used letters, E, always, because that's at the top of the list. I often start with noise, because that includes some of the most frequently used letters as well. So you can, if you like, approach it from that point of view. But for me, the real pleasure is in the process of elimination and that code breaking exercise that comes after. So, there's no time pressure as well. You can ponder it all day if you like, as long as you obey the golden rule and do not put any spoilers on Twitter or social media, because that can genuinely ruin someone's day. I think none of us could begrudge Josh Wardle for wanting a reward from this. And also, I think from his statement, and from everything he said so far, it seems like it was almost becoming too much for him. It's not something he expected. And to be fair, the New York Times also has real pedigree when it comes to word games. Obviously, it has its crossword as well, which is very famous. So, hopefully, they say that it will initially be free. Hopefully, that initial period will be a long one, and we can all keep enjoying it as much as we do.
Welcome back. Now, cryptocurrencies are seldom far from the headlines these days. The Bank of England and other central banks have warned of the potential risks they pose to financial stability. But for supporters, they represent an opportunity for financial innovation. Well, very much one of the latter is Matt Hancock, the former Health Secretary, who joins me now. Matt Hancock, very good morning to you. I mean, you've called for a progressive regulatory regime for cryptocurrencies. I mean, the Bank of England is constantly warning about the risks posed by crypto. What do you know that they don't?
Well, we can't be naive about crypto. It's here. It's being used around the world and here in the UK. My argument is we need to embrace that, and we need to put in place a high-quality regulatory regime that, yes, takes into account concerns like around financial stability, which are important, but doesn't just push this away, because it's happening and it's going to happen, and it'd be far, far better if we can attract crypto markets, crypto exchanges here in the same way that we have huge amounts of foreign exchange trading in London, and we've always been at the forefront of financial innovation over decades. So the key is to make sure that we're on the front foot and we embrace crypto, and we think hard about how best to, yes, have a regulatory system and structure, but one that's liberal and allows people to innovate and allows the new investments to come here.
What sort of regulatory regime would this look like, though? What specifically could regulators be doing to encourage more innovation in this field?
Well, I think the single most important thing is that we don't squash innovation, right? You can easily say, let's have a regulatory regime, because there are concerns, understandable and real concerns, like, as you mentioned, about financial stability, also about consumer protection and, for instance, the way that advertising is done. But it's all too easy then to just try to, stamp out the whole thing. But that just means that crypto is going to be done elsewhere, invested in elsewhere, And through the ages, the UK has done well by getting investment here onshore, especially in fintech, financial innovation. Think of the Eurobond market in the 80s. Think of the scale of international foreign exchange trading. And it's about making sure that we think about the innovation piece as well as the risks. And the concern I had is that in the debate, understandably, regulators are saying, well, there's this risk and there's that risk and they're seriously problematic. And of course, these things need to be looked at. But we've got to remember that being the home to fintech is very strongly in Britain's national interest. And it's also a huge opportunity that we've got.
I mean, Bitcoin, which is obviously the best known cryptocurrency, is off by 46% since early November. I mean, these are not assets necessarily for widows and orphans, are they?
Well, they're risk assets, right? There's different parts of cryptocurrencies. The stable coins, which are essentially part of the payment system, and then there's the risk assets. And yeah, prices go up and prices go down. They go up and down in equities as well. You know, you and I have both been around long enough to have seen the ups and downs of equity markets over the years. Currencies go up and down, and we say caveat emptor. We say that you should invest what you're prepared to lose in high risk assets. So that is about having a good regulatory system so that people are aware of the risks, but let's let people take those risks as well, because it's only that way that you're going to get the sort of innovation that can benefit us all and that can make sure that London stays ahead. And, you know, with the freedoms that we now have to design our own regulatory structures, we should be making sure that we can attract new fintech, of which Bitcoin and the other cryptocurrencies are one example, but there's endless other examples of innovations in this space, and we should be really embracing it. That's the case that I think needs to be made to weigh against the understandable concerns, because otherwise you'd have an imbalanced system.
Well, look, while we have you, there's obviously a photograph that's done the rounds of what looks very much like a party in the Downing Street garden where you were attending. What was going through your mind when you were there?
Oh, well, in that instance, I mean, I was in Downing Street a lot during the pandemic, understandably. On the day in question that you talk about, I'd done the press conference. I went down to debrief the Prime Minister, and then I left. And all of that's for the public record. And often there were meetings that were held outdoors, partly because it was safer. But what I was concentrating on was obviously the huge amount of work that we had to do during the pandemic, and that was at the forefront of my mind.
But look, when other photographs emerged of you apparently breaking lockdown rules, you resigned. Why is it you think that some other members of the government have seemingly got away with it?
Well, I think you've got to look at the big picture, right? It's been a tough few years, but I think ultimately the government has got the big calls right. If you look at for instance, the vaccination programme, you know, we ended up with the fastest vaccination programme in Europe, one of the fastest in the world, not by accident, but because of actions taken and decisions that we took in order to make sure that we, for instance, bought ahead and bought a basket of vaccines, so that if in the end 2 of them came off in big numbers, Oxford and Pfizer, and Moderna to a slightly smaller scale, but still important. And we bought 6. In the end, we bought 7, and some of those didn't come off. That's actually about taking, knowing that not everything will come off, but going broad and investing across a whole range of different options. And then in our case, 2 of them came off. And because of a very, very innovative health regulatory regime, thanks to the MHRA, we managed to get that into people's arms as quickly as possible. So actually, there is a lot of lessons from that in how we need to regulate in the future as we can flex our regulations post-Brexit. Because we managed, in that case, to say the regulation of new vaccines, the phases should be done in parallel instead of in series. That radically sped up the approvals process. The MHRA used modern data techniques to understand the risks, and to check that the vaccines were safe. And we need to make sure that in a different sphere, in this case, in health regulation, that's dynamic as well and pro-innovation. So actually, I came on to talk about cryptocurrency, but it's actually a lesson that we should learn from the pandemic right across the board, that you can improve regulatory systems to get things quicker to market, or in the case of the vaccines, into the arms of the population, whilst also protecting against the risks.
Right, that's fair, all good and fair, and you've made that point. In the meantime, of course, your colleagues are sending in letters of no confidence to the 1922 committee, questioning the integrity of the Prime Minister. Do you still think he has the moral authority to lead the country and lead the party?
Yes, because I think it comes back to this big question about getting the big calls right. And the vaccines is one example. There's other examples as well. We're one of the most open economies in the world. And for all the economic challenges that we have, and we have some serious economic challenges, and obviously the Bank of England's looking at the inflation data, and we'll hear from them later today. For all those challenges, we do have the fastest growing economy in the G7, and we have one of the most open societies of all major countries. It's easy to forget that, because we're sort of getting back to normal, and here, at least the disease COVID-19 is now endemic, not pandemic. That is a good thing, but it isn't true in many, many other similar countries across the world. So look at the big picture calls, the vaccines, the consequence of the vaccines, which is that we're more open than almost any comparator country, and
Sure.
you've got to look at the big picture.
Sure. The other big picture, though, is that the Prime Minister's poll ratings are in free fall. Is this going to do lasting damage to the Conservative Party, do you think?
Well, I hope not, and I think not. I think that what we have to concentrate on is the future, is on making sure that we address the challenges ahead of us. So, for instance, making sure we get through the backlog in the NHS. But my argument, and one of the reasons that we talked about me coming on today, is we've got to be pro-innovation, we've got to be pro-enterprise. We've got to make that argument more strongly than we have, because the only way out of the big picture problems that we face is through enterprise and growth, and making sure that we get the investments here in the UK. We have a big opportunity to make that happen. So whether it's on cryptocurrency or on healthcare, both of which we've talked about, right across the board, we've got to make sure we are the country that is open to enterprise, and we have a great environment for enterprise, and we have the investment coming in here. And that is what worries me most, frankly, making sure that as we come out of the pandemic, we can say to people who want to come and take a risk, come and take a risk here in the UK.
Well, it worries a lot of people. Tony Danker from the CBI told us this morning that the government's condemning us to high taxes and low growth.
Well, I read his full article, and because I saw the headline, and I thought, that's a bit of a surprise coming from the CBI. So I read the full article, and actually it was remarkably similar, which is we've got to make sure that we support enterprise, we support innovative, fast-growing companies, we make it easy to make investments. Most international companies, we need to make sure that their UK arm is winning their argument at global board level, that the next investment should be in the UK. This is where we need to be, because it's how we get ourselves out of the very significant economic challenges that we, like every country around the world, face.
All right, Matt Hancock, appreciate you joining me today. Good to talk to you. Thank you.
Welcome to Gabby Dave Global. We are a UK-based online e-commerce store, the first of its kind with license to trade in African products, filling orders to your customers from our warehouse, making sure customers receive their products on time. We are inviting all Black-owned businesses to trade on our platform because we strongly believe Africans have a unique brand the customer would appreciate globally. So get in touch today and let us make your product and business go far. Here are some of the benefits of using Gabby Dave Global. User-friendly platform, track your shipment, online support, transparent process, multiple SKUs, multiple products, a platform that encourages manufacturers as well as traders. Our marketing and PR interventions amplifies yours. Organized products and categories for easy access and navigation. Access to global community, especially within UK and Europe.
their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clemens, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Hi there, this is CJ Buckman, your life coach. And whenever I'm in London, I listen to Starr Radio UK right here. But guess what? You can listen to wherever you are.
All around the world. In your car,
at work,
at home,
on your smartphone. Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Hey there, this is Archie.
Smartphone. Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
Okay, let me say massive good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. We salute you all and we welcome you to the Thursday edition of the morning show. Playing in the background from the Better Revival Choir featuring Pastor Edwin Datson. As forever God reigns forever. I hope you're enjoying it. I just chanced by this morning. I thought, why not? Let's share. You are gracious. So let me say good morning to my colleagues, Mr. Frank Davids, Mr. Olayomi, Kojo D, Felix all the way in Aberdeen. And to the one and only producer, Mr. Francis Guy, as well. Good morning to you all, gentlemen. To all our presenters on Starr Radio UK and management, I salute you all. And I welcome you to the show once again. To our listeners of, those of you in the US, those of you in Europe, those of you in Asia and other parts of the world. On the African continent, especially my listeners in Nigeria, those of you in Uganda, those of you in Kenya, those of you in Ghana and South Africa. Hey, massive good morning to you. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages. Of course, wherever you are.
In your car,
at work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
We are reaching you there. So let me say all protocol observed. And once again, let's take this journey. As I say all the time, get yourself a hot or cold drink, whichever is appropriate. And be rest assured, whether you are standing or you are sitting, at time it gets bumpy. But rest assured, I'll take you to your destination. So from archaeology to zoology, from Accra to Zanzibar, if you're speaking the headlines, I promise you, I'm going to be touching on it. But it's an interactive program and therefore you are given the opportunity to interact with us. So what is going to happen? Yes, I'll bring you the code for the day, the weather forecast will follow till then, the travel update as well. We'll move on from there to have a look at some of the stories making the rounds known as Global Trotting. Then after that, at 11 o'clock exactly, we'll be having Mr. Olayomi who will be joining in to bring you updates from Nigeria. I hope you enjoyed the Niger Voices yesterday. There's lots happening in Nigeria at the moment and we want to bring to your fore every day we come on the show. Then after that, we go on to look at some of the details of the stories making the rounds across the globe, from the UK to other parts of the world. But then, the lines will be open for you at 12 o'clock to add your voice to the discussions. However, if you want to do so before the time, well, you can put it on our Facebook page, and I promise you one thing for sure. I'm gonna read that. So, I remain yours sincerely, the one and only.
This is the morning show with Archie.
Okay, let's crack on. The quote for the day says, comfort can always be found in discomfort. Comfort can always be found in discomfort. You know, interestingly, the spelling, you can find comfort in there. But we're talking in reality, the discomfort that you're going through, just look at it, just relax, just chill out a bit. Yes, take yourself out of the whole equation once you are in there and look at it, be positive, and then you will see some good aspect of it that can turn your life around. What about that? Okay, now. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. Starr Radio UK, the Thursday edition of the morning show. You know, I don't know what you are as well. Take me. Okay, let's move on. I share the broadcast. Don't you worry. During the course of the program, I'll bring you the full length of that music. Look at the weather front. What is happening on the weather front this morning here in London and the sides of England? Well, another mild day. It seems this afternoon it will turn brighter with some sunny spells developing and only a few patches of cloud staying largely dry throughout, although an isolated shower cannot be ruled out. A breezy day expected as well. Now tonight, the first part of the night will see clear spells and variable amounts of cloud remaining dry for much of the night before turning wet towards dawn as a band of rain arrives from the northwest. Temperatures is going to be 11 degrees. The lower is going to be 7 degrees. UV level is going to be low. Pollution is going to be low. Sunset 16:53. Is that right? Tomorrow morning 07:36 hours. That brings us to the end of the weather forecast for you today. Starr Radio UK. We'll take a commercial break, and once we come back, I will bring you the travel update. Don't worry about the song at all. I promise you, you will listen to it in full. I'm making my own moves here.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Check it out. Keep your eyes on the road.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Well, this is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station, and it's your travel update. Well, what is happening in travel this morning on the underground? Yes, apart from the Northern Line that is partly closed until the mid-May, well, 2022, all the others have good service. Now, we still have a problem with the DLR, that's Dockland Light Railway. A reduced service is operating between Bank Tower, Gateway, and Canning Town due to a power supply problem. Woolwich Arsenal services are operating to Matchshot and Stratford International. Good service on all other DLR routes. That aside, London Overground TFL Rail and London Tramlink have also got good service there. But continue to keep your eyes on the roads as we keep you navigated. I promise I'll on the Starr Radio travel update that comes to you every weekday from 10:40, but it's now 10:46. Now on the riverbank this morning, apart from the Woolwich Ferry that is still suspended, all the others have also got good service. Now lengthy issue with the National Rail, so lend me your ears. Now, I went to West Coast, get Gatwick Express, Great Northern Railway, Great Western Railway, London North Eastern Railway have all got special services. Now, Merseyrail, ScotRail, Southeastern, Southern, and Thameslink also special service. So please check before you leave so you don't miss your appointments in any of those journeys. But it's all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. Now moving on straight to the final segment of the travel update, as the major roads in London. This what is happening on the roads this morning. Well, A10 has got closures, A316 closures, A4 closures, A40 closures, A41 closures, Central London Red Routes closures, A20 serious delays, and A205 serious delays. And you know, as I would say, well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today. But you know what? Continue to keep those eyes on the roads.
Welcome to Gabby Dave Global. We are a UK-based online e-commerce store, the first of its kind with license to trade in African products. Some of the products are clothing brands and all beauty accessories, hair and beauty brands, natural aphrodisiacs, processed and dried unprocessed food. Our mission at Gabby Dave is to connect African and Caribbean businesses to customers globally. At Gabby Dave, we ensure our sellers get the best deal for their products. We are not just here to help you reach a wider audience. We are also a distribution center to support business growth by fulfilling orders to your customers from our warehouse, making sure customers receive their products on time. We are inviting all Black-owned businesses to trade on our platform because we strongly believe Africans have a unique brand the customer would appreciate globally. So get in touch today and let us make your product and business go far. Here are some of the benefits of using Gabby Dave Global. User-friendly platform, track your shipment, online support, transparent process, multiple SKUs, multiple products, a platform that encourages manufacturers as well as traders. Our marketing and PR interventions amplifies yours. Organized products and categories for easy access and navigation. Access to global community, especially within UK and Europe.
As this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Star Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
This is Starr Radio UK.
You are gracious. I can testify you are good.
This is Starr Radio UK.
I can only say
You are listening to Starr Radio News.
Everybody say.
Okay, welcome back to the show, Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, and it's now gone 10 minutes to the top of the hour. Welcome to Global Trotting on the Thursday edition of the morning show. With your one and only Archie here, but I'll be joined during the course of the program by Mr. Frank Davids, Mr. Olayomi, Kojo, D, Felix, and every one of the team. So once again, welcome back to the show. Now let's move on. Okay, in your shots, you can see me. What? Is it dancing or shaking my body or shaking my head? Whatever it is. Okay, but some of the news making the rounds across the globe this morning. Well, in the UK front, well, we are all expecting this. We know it's going to be happening. How is it going to hit us? Well, a big rise in energy costs is expected for millions. A new price cap to be announced at 11 hours GMT is expected to add hundreds of pounds onto annual bills for 22 million homes. Is your home part of it? I think every home. And Northern Ireland Minister Paul Givan intends to resign. The move is part of the Democratic Unionist Party's protest against the Northern Ireland Protocol. So what do you think about that? Everybody say, clap your hands. And a man has been charged with the murder of a Canadian woman, Ashley Wasworth, was found dead by officers called to a disturbance at a house in Chelmsford, Essex. Stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. U.S. troops increase in Europe. Destructive. Who is speaking? Russia. Now, extra U.S. troops will go to Poland, Romania, and Germany amid fears of a Russian invasion of Ukraine. While in Rotterdam, a bridge is to be dismantled for Jeff Bezos' yacht to cross. Rotterdam says the world's richest man will foot the bill to remove part of the historic bridge. Who say money no good? Money talks. Yeah? Okay.
Everybody say, in the land of the living, I will praise you.
7 minutes to the top of the hour, the time, the morning show, the program.
Lift your hands, say, for the Lord is good.
Well, U.S. commandos in major raid in northwest Syria. Rescue workers say 13 people were killed in the operation in a border area dominated by jihadists. Now, Iran accused an anti-Israel fake social media plot and disinformation unit targeted nationalists and ultra-religious Jews on Facebook. Researchers have said. military says, the Israeli military says Omar Assad, 78, died as a result of a moral failure by soldiers, and therefore an Israel officers have been removed after the death of this Palestinian. Okay, so you see that what we were discussing, was it last Monday or Tuesday? Yes, Monday or Tuesday. Something's happening there. Every life matters, isn't it? Okay, let's move on to some other stories making the rounds. So there. Well, U.S. officials are falling sick in Havana, and they call it the Havana syndrome. They say the Havana syndrome may be caused by direct energy. A new intelligence report provides another twist in the long-running mystery of U.S. officials falling sick. What is the Havana syndrome? And it's All Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. New Zealand unveils border reopening plan. It first allows fully jabbed New Zealanders in Australia to return, later expanding to other visitors. I think the COVID is over, isn't it? No. Was it yesterday I was watching some or listening to some news, and they were talking about the speed of death for the past 28 days, and about what, 500 or something? Or 50 something? Is it 500 or something or 50 something? I mean, I will check it and let you know. So it's not over. As in a nutshell, that's what I want to say. And when it comes to Africa, oil vessel explodes off Nigeria coast. The Trinity Spirit is on fire and sinking with 10 crew members on board. We'll be bringing you more on that front. And the president biographer barred from leaving Liberia. George Weah's biographer, co-author, in trouble amid controversy over indecent details of the first lady. Sudan protesters have blocked road to Egypt for 9th day. Protesters in the north have disrupted movement of Egyptian trucks carrying livestock or goods. And in DR Congo, power cable collapse has killed 26 people. The high voltage overhead cable reportedly fell into a drainage ditch at a market near Kinshasa. To the top of the hour when it comes to Nigeria, explosion rocks Niger Delta oil vessel, as I did say earlier on. Now, Sheba Exploration and Production Company Limited announced on Thursday that its offshore facility, the FPSO Trinity, located at the let me just get it. You want to know more about it? Located at the Okpokiti terminal near Ekravos was engulfed by fire following an explosion in the early hours of Wednesday. And Northerners will know peace before I leave office, Buhari says. Well, there have been some allusion that anytime it's only when the northern part of the country has only peace when he visits that part of the world. That means he's coming in there with his military or his security. But what do you think? He's saying that, well, they will know peace before he leaves power. So how is he going to do that? Well, who knows? When somebody say, I'm going to knock you with a stone, you might not know the person might be holding a stone, or though it's a blind person, might have his foot on a stone. So be careful about that. In Mauritius, at least 7,500 homes without power after tropical cyclone Basirai. In the AFCON 2021 semi-final, Egypt says they are ready for Cameroon. And while jubilation in Dakar, Senegal beats Burkina Faso to book their finals. they are placed in the finals. Let me put it that way.
You are kind. Oh, everybody say, in the land of the living, I will praise.
Interestingly, an MP is doing something good. He's offering loans, free loans to constituents with his salary. How selfless can some people be? My goodness. Kudos to him. Kudos to him. If we have about half of the MPs doing that, I bet there will be a change in the country. Well, the member of Parliament for New Jobbing South, Michael Archie, has said the passage of the electronic transaction levy bill is inevitable, saying that they will use their majority to get it through. Developer has destroyed asphalted road to build behind president's residence. You want to be neighbors with the president? Well, we'll be looking into all those stories. But enjoy the rest of the tune whilst I wait for Mr. Olayomi to join in on the program for us to bring you updates from Nigeria. Stay tuned. Starr Radio UK. Take me, take me.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Let me hear you sing.
Okay, that means God is good. God is good forever and ever and ever. God is good.
Testify. Lord, you've been so good, and I came to testify.
Oh, something coming your way from Ghana.
You too good, oh, and you too kind, oh.
From Reverend Dadson and the Battle Revival Choir. I hope you've enjoyed the tune this morning. Okay, Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let me say a good morning all the way in Leeds to the one and only Chris Fadeli, who is the CEO of Gabi Dave Global, an e-market platform. I was going to say e-levy, Ghana people. But wherever you are, if you are listening to us from the African continent, you want to be trading on an international platform. You know, you can trade amongst yourself back in Africa, but not on, call it eBay, Amazon, or all the others. You cannot do so. But you want to be able to do so. Yes. Then Gabi Dave Global e-market platform is a place to be. Okay, let's take a quick commercial break. We come back and then we continue with the show. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Welcome to Gabi Dave Global. We are a UK-based online e-commerce store, the first of its kind with license to trade in African products. Some of the products are clothing brands and all beauty accessories, hair and beauty brands, natural aphrodisiacs, processed and dried unprocessed food. Our mission at Gabi Dave is to connect African and Caribbean businesses to customers globally. At Gabi Dave, we ensure our sellers get the best deal for their products. We are not just here to help you reach a wider audience. We are also a distribution center to support business growth by fulfilling orders to your customers from our warehouse, making sure customers receive their products on time. We are inviting all Black-owned businesses to trade on our platform because we strongly believe Africans have a unique brand the customer would appreciate globally. So get in touch today and let us make your product and business go far. Here are some of the benefits of using Gabi Dave Global. User-friendly platform, track your shipment, online support, transparent process, multiple SKUs, multiple products, a platform that encourages manufacturers as well as traders. Our marketing and PR interventions amplifies yours. Organized products and categories for easy access and navigation. Access to global community, especially within UK and Europe.
Wave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy. Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK. Whilst we wait for Mr. Olayomi to join us, we bring you some of the stories that he will be looking into once he joins us. A list of them. So whilst we wait for him, now gunmen behead Imo ex-police man on farm and return body home. Interesting. And the hoodlums have beheaded a retired police. Okay, that's a detail of that story. Have beheaded a retired police officer in Ages in Agis in the Oguta local government area of Imo State. That's one story coming from there. And then aviation unions vow to ground flights on the 8th of February over minimum wage and others. So if you are embarking on traveling on the 8th or the 7th to the 8th, please be warned. You don't want to get yourself stuck in any any journey that will not go nowhere. Nigeria's 4 major aviation unions on Wednesday vowed to ground activities in the sector from Tuesday, February 8, 2022, over the failure of the federal government to release the negotiated conditions of service of aviation agencies since 2013. More of such stories going to be coming your way from Nigeria, but let me bring you an announcement. Now, come my apologies, next Tuesday, that is the 8th of February, we'll be having on BB Clement, BB Means Business Show exclusive interview with special guest Sam Henshaw. Now, Sam is a British singer, songwriter, and record producer. He recently appeared on the James Corden show promoting his new album, Untidy Soul. Join us on Tuesday, the 8th of February at 1:30 p.m. as we discuss how young people are choosing a different path for their lives in creating a growing their own wealth. If you're a teenager or a young adult, you can't afford to miss that, and therefore we want to encourage all parents to listen to that program and encourage your little ones to listen to the program as well. It is All Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And as I said, I've got Mr. Olayomi who has joined in. Let me line him up nicely and then we put him on the show. But wherever you are, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay. So let me say massive good morning to Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Yomi, good morning.
It is a very good morning to you, Mr. Archie. Good morning to all our listeners and viewers from around the globe. It is the morning show, the 3rd of February 2022. Star Radio UK, the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. And that's the place to be for all the news coming out of Nigeria shortly, as we're going to be giving it to you in just a few minutes.
Yes, how are you doing, sir?
Well, as you can tell, it's been a very beautiful one this morning as usual. We can only be grateful. I'm doing very well again, and it's good to be back. Like I said, it is a very bright Thursday morning. I almost say Wednesday, but I realized that it's no longer Wednesday because we've now gone past that beautiful Niger voices that we had yesterday. So it's good to be back again. I'm doing very well.
Yes, that's good. But before we go on to today's those updates, now, how was the reaction of people on the Niger voices yesterday?
Well, because it's as a lot of people have been following, Star Radio UK for almost 5 years now. For those that have been, following the Niger voices, but it was a very brilliant one to be back. To all the listeners that have been waiting patiently, and we told them that yes, as much as some thought maybe it was a program that was pulled out, and I did let them know that it was nothing of such. We were just doing some few background work behind the scene, and that was why we couldn't come on air as quickly as possible. But we are fully back now, and I can assure them that there is a lot to offer as we'll be going into this 2023. And the question we did ask yesterday is what do they want? What do Nigerians really want? Especially those that says the 2023 election is getting closer. What do you want was the question. But again, we did get a lot of answer, and as I said, next week we'll be reviewing everything about the APC government after 6 years and a half. The rest 13 months, as you saw there, a lot of Nigerians are still asking whether this government has done the best for Nigerians. All that will be reviewed next week again when we come back on the air.
Well, listeners, Mr. Olayomi for you is going to be bringing you updates from Nigeria. So let's go straight to him for the updates. Over to you, sir.
Well, as we're also, streaming on all the other platforms as well. People are watching us on Instagram. They're listening on Twitter. Remember to follow Star Radio UK on this platform to be up to date to all the latest news that is coming out of Africa and different part of the globe as well. We have quite a lot to discuss this morning, as usual, but I can confirm that the president have jet off to Addis Ababa on a 4 days summit that I'm sure all other African countries will be attending as well. So we'll be giving a little bit more background to that in just a minute as well. Also, it says a very busy one in Lagos State. As I speak to you today, the road has shut down because one of the interim president that died some few weeks ago is being buried today, and almost every part of Lagos is completely going to be shut down. So we do advisory for those that will be traveling in and around Lagos this morning. NS Shonekon, as is known, I'm going to give you a little bit background to him. Chief NS Adegunle Oladeyinde Shonekon GCFR was a Nigerian lawyer, a statesman who served as the interim head of state in Nigeria just between August 26, 1993 to November 17, 1993, when Abacha, the late general Sani Abacha, the dictator, also hijacked the power from him. Let me give a background to that story. Abacha was actually, NS Shonekon took over at a very difficult time when the previous dictator as well, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, annulled the June 12 presidential election, and there was a lot of chaos in Nigeria as at that time. Babangida stepped aside, NS Shonekon came through, and just like they say, sometimes the history of Nigeria just continue. But at age 85, he has now passed on, and we can only pray for the soul and the family that he left behind as well. So let us now, look into the other stories that are coming out of Nigeria as well this morning. Lai Mohammed, Aregbe Shola, Yari, Keyamo all loses out as APC inaugurate state chairman. It is the time of politicking and also the time of self-determination, restructuring, revolution. You know, everything is going into it as well. So what we can say is the factions. Remember the first program of the year on Nigeria on the Star Radio UK, and they talked about the fractions. We will see those fractions coming out a couple of days more, couple of months more, when APC might divide into 3 or 4 sections. But what we can tell you now is factions rather, of the All Progressive Congress in several states that are loyal to some ministers and senators are set to lose out, as the APC has perfected plans to inaugurate state chairman loyal to the governors at the party's national secretariat in Abuja on Thursday today. Some of the losers include the Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola. It was a one-time Osun State governor. You know, again, some of these, politicians that left their state, ungovernable for most of the citizens. I mean, I was able to travel down to Osun State while I was in Nigeria, last year, and I could tell you, you can see the deplorable roads, the lack of education, the welfare, and yes, he is the current Minister of Interior, Interior. But again, during this government, we've seen, prison being break across Nigeria. The last one that I can quickly recollect is Agbolongo in Oyo State, where one of the serial kidnapper has now escaped, and nobody knows where he is. But the government have continued to deny his presence at that particular coronation center. What we do know is there was a kind of invasion in there. He was rescued out, but the officials and the governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, till I speak now, cannot confirm whether Wiskilu Wakilu, that has become a terrorist, within the confinement of Oyo State, has run away, and nobody's giving us any information. So some of these ministers are losing out, according to the headline. So let's quickly touch more headline before we come back again to you in the studio. Osibajo in Accra for ECOWAS meeting on Burkina Faso and Mali. Well, we talked about that a couple of days ago as well, that there might not be coup in Nigeria, but there are indications that as it is now, it seems quite a lot is uncertain with most African countries. So the Vice President, Yemi Osibajo, this morning has departed to Accra in Ghana to represent Nigeria at an extraordinary summit of the ECOWAS Authority of Head of State Government deliberating on the political situation in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Guinea. Osibajo, who is representing the President Major General Muhammadu Buhari, will be at the meeting, which is coming as part of the resolution that was reached last week on a virtual chair by the Ghana President Nana Akufo-Addo. So let's look at some more headline, and then I'm going to come back again to you in the studio. Yes, we did talk about the gunman beheaded the Imo ex-policeman on the farm return body. I can also confirm that there was a case of a kidnapping, Mr. Archie and our listeners, on Saturday in Nakure in the southwest of Nigeria. I can now confirm on Tuesday, those 3 people have been released, the wife, the husband, and what we call the orderlies. In Nigeria, as I'm sure maybe other African countries, you can easily have a police escort or soldier, but you would have to be responsible for paying, their services while they are with you. So 3 of them were kidnapped. The driver was left to go and tell the family, but after a negotiation from 100 million naira, 11 million naira was eventually paid off on Tuesday, as equivalent to $20,000, 15,000 pounds was paid on Tuesday, while the terrorists drove back into the town, released these 3 people, collected the money, and they fled back into their bushes where nobody knows where they are. And that goes back to this next conversation. Again, the Northerners will know peace when I leave office. I'm not sure whether the northern part of the country will know peace, because as we speak right now, there are more internal display persons, all over the country, most especially in the northwest and the southwest and the northeast as well. At the advent of its administration in 2015, I pledged to Nigerians that I will restore peace in northeast and return it to the path of development and growth. President Buhari says Nigerians in the northeast will, in the coming months, be safe from the atrocities of the bandit and the terrorists ravaging the region. I'm not sure whether that is something that is going to happen anytime soon, because as I speak to you, not just in the northeast or the northwest or the southeast, it is almost every part of Nigeria that is bleeding in terms of this terrorist invasion across Nigeria, even though this government, which is what we're going to be reviewing next week, Wednesday on Niger Voices, what it has done while they've been in office. But I just want to pick up one more story, and then I'm going to come back again to you slightly. Once again, it is Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. So, okay, I can also tell you there's a breaking news coming out from Katsina community. Bandits. They do call them bandits in Nigeria, but we tend not to use the word bandit because that is what the information minister, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, a lot of people call him the liar because an information minister that have kind of distorted a lot of information coming out of Nigeria. So most media in Nigeria would not use the word terrorist, they would rather use bandit. But we use terrorists because terrorists are the people that are making life unbearable for millions of Nigerians. So as I say to you right now, coming out of Nigeria, terrorists killed village head, 5 others in Katsina. That is the breaking news that is coming out of Nigeria as well in the last 25 minutes. But the last one I wanted to talk about before coming back to you, Boko Haram improvised explosive device killed a civilian JTF commander injured others in Borno State. But also in Oyo, Ogun State, there's been a lot of ravaging as many poultry crop farmers closed down in Oyo, Ogun State over attacks by the Herdsmen kidnappers, according to Afenifere. I'm going to come back again to you in the studio. If you're just joining us, this is the morning show on Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Well, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki for you this morning, bringing you updates from Nigeria, all that you need to know. Yes, and as he said, there's a confirmation of that attack in Katsina. Yes, which is very, very true there. But, Yomi, now let's quickly digress a bit. Now, I remember back in, was it early part of 2021 or 20, latter part of 2020, we were talking about the Amotekun, okay? That the state police for is it the south, was that for the south west or
the southwest?
The southwest. Okay. Now, what happened to it? And I know the presidency have been saying, the federal government have been saying that, well, they don't want to give in for such security bodies to be created by the states. But what happened? What is going on? Do you think that will be what the president is looking at now, or he is going to be deploying the federal police or security network to go and protect the people in the north?
The Operation Amotekun, Western Nigeria Security Network, as it's called, Western Nigerian Security Network, code name Operation Amotekun, with the kind of a tiger kind of images on their emblem. They have been in operation, I can tell you that. But whether they are capable, to tackle some of the high risk, operation in Nigeria that should have been done with more of the, these other security operative. Yes, they were established formation in the southwest in Nigeria on January the 9th, 2020, which was about 2 years ago. It was founded at Ibadan in Oyo State. But the question you've asked is whether they are capable. Some of the operations that we've seen them doing is, we've seen them, tackling some of these, especially in Ondo State, where the governor of Ondo State have been giving more access to them to, especially the movement of the herdsmen. But in terms of going after criminal element like Akure State, again, where there was a kidnap on Saturday, I was involved in terms of communication between the family of these individuals in US and UK, and they did, there was a question about the involvement of Amotekun in operation. Remember, there was also a police officer that was kidnapped in Stam as well. But that shows that the country is currently facing a lot of difficulties, because I would have expected both the Amotekun, the security officer, to all go in through to track down using the communication line that were used to communicate back. But unfortunately, as I speak to you right now, yes, Amotekun is still in operation, but not to the extent that a lot of the Yorubas that are in the southwest will want them to do.
Well, listen, that's Mr. Olayomi Kojo bringing you updates from Nigeria. But if you're listening to us, I want to find out from you. Do you think that having a state security network or the state police, as it's had in the southwest, the Ametokun, if you have some in the north, that will help quell the insurgency that is going on? We want to hear from you. You can put it on our Facebook page, and I promise you we're going to read that. Okay, so let's go back to Yomi for some of the other stories making the rounds. Over to you, Yomi.
Yes, sir. Let's go back again and touch more other stories coming out of Nigeria this morning. It is still the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Yes, we talked about the oil platform that exploded in Niger Delta. A very, very sad one, because not just this explosion, it also creates more havoc to the community that are already suffering because of the the lack of infrastructure facility, and most of them that are in the fishing area. Fishing industry means that more crude oil in the water, more problem. A floating production storage and offloading FPSO vessel with a capacity to process up to 22,000 barrels of oil per day, inject up to 40,000 barrels of water per day, store 2 million barrels of oil, has exploded and literally sunk at the Ipokiti terminal around Escravos in Warri, Southwest Delta State. According to also the fact check, show that this huge facility is a Trinity Spirit, was built in 1976. It's almost about 46 years ago, with carrying capacity of almost 274,774 dead weight tonnage. Overall length of 337.05 meters, as well as the width of 54.5. You would expect that maybe, we don't know what the situation is and what happened, but if this has been in operation since since almost 46 years, we hope there have not been a kind of a compromise in this as well. The FPSO serves as the primary production facility of OML 108, and is also a government approved terminal for lifting operations for all the OML 108 production. But as I speak right now, it has learned that about 10 persons were within the facility when the incident occurred, who are yet to be accounted for at the time of which I'm giving this report. So we hope things will be looked into again. While Nigerians are still struggling, more damage is still going back into that. I know you want me to come back into the studio, and if I go back to the late Ken Saro-Wiwa, that was literally killed by the late Sani Abacha, for speaking against the environmental damage in the Ogoni land. It is still the same thing that is happening, where this has now exploded. That means more damage. This government promised that they will do a cleanup of Ogoni land, but as I speak to you right now, less has been done. More money has been put through, but nothing has been shown to that. I'm going to come back to you, but it's just the same thing. Just we were speaking yesterday. After 32 hours on a Monday, you can be traveling on a Kano train to Lagos, but this train is stuck in somewhere, nowhere. And as I speak to you right now, we're not sure whether those victims that are on that particular train have been rescued. But as of yesterday, during the Niger Voices, people are still stuck on the train after 3 days with no rescue.
Wonderful. Listen, let's start Radio UK. But on the that FPSO explosion that took place, what have they said might have caused the explosion?
Well, like I said, we don't have a clear understanding of what must have happened, but in an operation where it involves the crude oil, it could be anything. And that's why, I've been able to give the background of this Trinity Spirit that was built in 1976. That's about 46 years ago. We hope that, it has not been compromised. We hope things has been done. According to release title, Fire Incident on the Trinity Spirit FPSO, the company announced that the incident happened in the early hours of Wednesday, while stating that investigations were going on to ascertain the actual cause of the explosion. The organization noted that, as required, it had already reported the matter to the appropriate government agency. But as I speak right now, 10 crew members, it's further confirmed that there were 10 crew members, but that everything was being done to ensure their safety and security.
Well, I hope that they are able to rescue them, because I was just praying that it wasn't a sabotage, because they alluding that it was a sabotage. The moment they do that, then they'll try to target some other people, but not seeing to address the main issue. Because we're talking about pollution now. Who is going to be seeing to all that? I mean, you talk about the Ogoni land. The other time I was listening to a documentary about Ken Saro-Wiwa's son. He was narrating a few things that went on during his father's when he was in prison, his incarceration, before he was even should I say murdered or killed. So I was looking at all that, and I was asking myself, how can people living in an area who are talking about the difficulty that they are going through, yet government don't want to see to address that, but rather kill some of them because they are making too much noise? And if you are listening to what this, what seems to be going on, I don't know whether we want to give. I know that there's some of the FPS or this Trinity Spirit. I know it will not belong to Nigeria, so they might have foreign entities in there. Now, do we protect the foreigners more than our own people? Well, it is Star Radio UK. You can send your comments in, and we will surely read that. But let's go back to Yomi for some of the other stories making the rounds. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, it's not over until it's over, is what they say, as more Nigerians, are also demanding, again, the self-determination to opt out of Nigeria. Also people are demanding a restructure of the country, and these were part of what we discussed yesterday during Niger Voices. As you can think of it, Chief Sunday Igboho is still being held in Benin Republic as we speak right now, spending almost 6 months. The question then again is, for how long, should someone that hasn't committed an offense, have to spend, inside, a prison, when we still have, more people that are criminals element, moving around the country, with impunity. So let me first go back to, the issue of, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as well. We saw that he's still being held in Abuja as well. But his net court case, we'll be following that. But the question a lot of Nigerians are asking is, for how long, all this has to happen, especially, if you are not really, somebody that feel comfortable. The situation right now means that as at yesterday, today is the 3rd, court fined the Attorney General Malami for purposely delaying the trial of Nnamdi Kanu and the co-accused. Imagine, that it seems the government of Nigeria is trying to delay the court case. So, it's been in the court appearance last month, but also it doesn't seem, the government really wants to do a court case at all. Rather, they probably wants to waste time and keep him there till 2023, which is what a lot of people believe. The same thing is what they are planning to do on Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho, that is being held in Benin Republic in the last 6 months. So the headline says, court finds the Attorney General Malami for delaying the trial of Nnamdi Kanu co-accused. The judge was visibly angry with the way the trial was truncated, ordered that 200,000 naira must be paid to the defendant. Justice Binta Inyako of the Federal High Court in Abuja yesterday imposed on the Attorney General of the Federation and the Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami a fine of 200,000 naira for frustrating the trial of 4 co-defendants of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, on treasonable felony charges. Justice Inyako yesterday ordered that each of the defendants be paid 50,000 naira by the AGF for the inconveniences they suffered as a result of the absence of the lead counsel to the federal government. Imagine the government is the one trying to charge you for for a crime, but yet the government hasn't bring in their their legal team to the court to represent the federal government. It just shows the the negligence of a system that have failed for a very long time. Just as we said, more people are still being stuck. I hope since we announced that yesterday, and the the videos of that has also gone viral as well. Also, Mr. Archie, the kind of poverty in Nigeria right now, there's a particular video that is trending that I believe we should discuss here as well. A woman in Nigeria is not just a woman, also wearing a kind of a Islamic outfit was approached by a man that eventually we now realize that it's a comedy, but I'm not sure whether this kind of comedy will be done in other part of the country, around the globe, especially in the Arab country. She was approached, asked if she can remove her undies, and she was given 20,000 naira, equivalent to $30 in the foreign exchange. The woman asked why. Maybe that was going to be used for ritual, because a lot of Nigerians are used to this kind of information. And the young man says, no, it's just for me to give you 20,000 naira. If you can take it off, Mr. Archie. This woman eventually took off the undies, and the man eventually put this up, and they let the woman know that she's been camera. My question then is, would this happen in Saudi Arabia or any other Arab country by playing a kind of a skit, by telling somebody or a woman to remove her undies by offering $30,000? That shows the kind of poverty that we have in Nigeria. Just under a couple of weeks ago as well, 3 young Nigerians from the southwest predominantly killed another young girl by taking off her head for ritual purpose. Until they were cooking the head, the smell of that was coming out of the room. People went into the room, wanted to find out what was happening, and here you go, 3 young boys aged 17 up to 20 have eventually killed another young girl, to make ritual for money purpose as well. So this shows that, as much as, we are not going to condone all these, but it also shows the kind of, crime that is taking place, on a daily basis in Nigeria, because of the hardship that more Nigerians are facing as well. Again, before I come back again to you in the studio, we're going to go straight into, the social media, and I'm going to come back as well. Nigerian soldiers lament delay in payment of the January salary. Say many are paid peanut while the generals feed fat. And you can tell that most of the generals will probably not be able to run 100 meters. One of the soldiers says the least officer in the army earns 50,000 naira, which is about $120 equivalent. Some officers of the Nigerian army have lamented the delay in the processing of the payment of their salaries and their allowances for the month of January. The officer who spoke to Sahara Reporter alleged that politicians and the generals in the force have decided to impoverish those in the lower cadre, despite having held discussion around increment in the salary. So we're going to go straight to social media. The first one is coming from Ifa Fonshaw. This was posted somewhere in January. Sunday Igboho mission is to take Yoruba people out of Nigeria. Tinubu mission is to continue trading Yoruba freedom with Nigeria. What is the nation? A nation is a place where the people share same culture, language, and history. Nigeria doesn't have such ideology. Nigeria is a scam. That is coming from Ifa Fonshaw. Also, according to the Yoruba Nation at Yoruba_now, ECOWAS, International Criminal Court, United Nations, Nigerian government, President Patrice Talon, free Sunday Igboho, as the petition also seems to be going out there for him as well. So it seems more people are still also clamoring to have Peter Obi as the president of Nigeria, as more people want to do crowdfunding for him. So Peter Obi tends to be trending again, almost 72 hours on Twitter, with almost 68.5k tweets on Peter Obi. It was a one-time Anambra State governor, but it seems more people were ready to have him, be the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So that is about it for now. I'm going to come back now to you in the studio. It is Star Radio UK once again, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Well, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you.
And I would like to appreciate those that are still watching us all the way in Ogun State, in Oyo State, in all over Nigeria this morning. And I say good morning to you, as I say good morning to us as well from this part of the globe.
Yes, to all our listeners, those of you who are listening to us on the African continent, that's where I know it costs an arm and a leg to get yourself the data to watch us and to listen to us. We are so grateful to you. I really salute you for your patronage there. Continue to do so. Yes. Okay. Now, Yomi, just a quick one, and then we go. As pertaining to the suing of Malami, who is the government lawyer, because he's frustrating the court procedure for what do you call him, Nnamdi Kano's group of people. Nnamdi Kanu and his other people, or that they will term accomplices. Okay, now what finding those in that's the government's lawyer 200,000 so that they split among themselves 50 each. What has the government said, or what has the Malami said so far about that? Is it that they've not got enough evidence to prosecute the case, or is it that they are not even prepared at all to, see to the case? Or, like I said, the DSS, they are a law to themselves, and they decide, well, today we want to keep this person in for 100 days. Until then, we don't want to know whatever judges or whatever says.
Well, I think you've also responded by giving the same answer. DSS has become a government of its own. Neither do they respect any judges or the judiciary at all. It's not just on this particular case. We've seen the same, during the trial of, Omoyele Sowore, that is still ongoing as well. We've seen the same on innocent Nigerians. And it seems, this government just randomly pick up, individuals that even does probably not have any interest to do with IPOB, but rather because, they are from the Southeast, they pick them up, they take them to Abuja, and they label them as IPOB members with all kind of accusation. We've seen, a young girl that was threatened, molested, until somebody came out of the prison and said, people were looking for her, not realizing that she has been in the prison, until somebody gave an hint that the person you're looking for is been in the prison. And after the news went viral, she was quickly labeled as one of the girlfriend of the IPOB members as well. So again, the system is just a failure. And I was speaking up in news yesterday as well, where some of the lawyers says this government has been one of the most to disobey court orders, since they came into office, since 2015. And a lot of Nigerians will remember, President Muhammadu Buhari and all his cabinet and his government for a very long time, whatever the outcome is, in the next 13 months.
Wow, we've got Frank here. Let me just go to Frank because I want to pick his mind on something, because we're looking at all these coup d'etats that seem to be happening on the African continent, and you have the sub-regional group ECOWAS, and you have the UN, the AU, everybody coming in to say, oh, stop that, you are destroying democracy and all that nonsense that they continue to say. But look at the case where the DSS, as I was saying, has been a law to themselves. The court rules, whilst we are in democracy, the rule of law, when the court rules, they have to adhere to it, and they are not. So if people rise up and decide to take over, do you think anything is wrong with that?
Yeah, Archie, good morning, Olayomi, good morning, good morning to our listeners. Archie, in my view, I think it's the citizens that have not actually done enough to press home some of these issues. Because if there's a coup, the international world sees it as a coup. There are issues that are happening within the country that they might not know. Unless you speak about them, unless you talk about them, unless we have dedicated people who see it as, look, I am not just going to eat it by and slip, but if something is wrong within my neighborhood, I'm going to put my name out there and stand up, speak about it, and speak out against it. It is those civil and citizens' actions that will result in anything becoming known. What the DSS is doing now, we know blatantly they are breaking the law. You look at Ghana, for instance, similar thing is happening. That's why I don't know whether Akufo-Addo and Buhari, whether they chewed the same bone before they came to the ascended to the presidency. Because at the end of the day, yesterday, Captain Smart, for instance, was granted bail. Just as he was about leaving the court, what did they do?
They apprehended him.
Again. A court of competent jurisdiction, they call it, has granted someone bail. As we speak now, what they call Paul Afoko's brother is still over the door court, and then we have what we call a judiciary. Under certain, and if it were a credible country, they might not, what they call the interior minister Ambruderi would have been summoned before parliament to explain the gross disrespect of the security forces to the judiciary. The Chief Justice would have taken action of security, undermining the authority and the independence of the court, and therefore the private citizens of justice that is is required. But everybody is quiet because it works in their favor. Look, as we speak now, Nigeria, the executive, the security, the the legislature, what do you call it, and the judiciary are in bed. How are you going to be able to have, justice in such a situation? We should be able to start pointing at some of these things to those who come and tell us, cuckoo. You cannot just have a democracy on a paper. Whilst what is going on is dictatorship and democracy.
Yeah.
Citizens will need to rise up and say no. And look, Archie, a citizens action that needs to inform the world what they want as a country. It's not just a few people and what they claim they've crafted on a paper.
Yeah. Well, listeners, Mr. Frank Davis, for you, don't you go away. We'll go back to Yomi for his closing remarks, but we'll be continuing with our discussions. Over to you, Yomi.
Yes, we'll be back again same time tomorrow, but don't touch the dial as you still have Frank and Archie to take you through the remaining part of this morning show program. Nigeria needs a working system, not a Messiah system. That is coming from Tolulope Oluridero on Twitter. But again, more Nigerians are really looking up to the situation that is happening back home. I can then tell, according to the time clock and the days, hours before that election or no election or whichever is going to come up in 2023, according to Starr Radio UK, 372 days, 12 hours, 9 minutes, 27 seconds. I'm checking out now, but I'll be back again at 11 o'clock tomorrow. Have a very good morning, all. Bye for now.
Bye, Yomi. Okay, listeners, that was Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. It's now gone 10 minutes to the top of the hour. That's 10 minutes to 12. I'm going to take a break, and once we come back, we'll be looking at the stories making the rounds here and across the globe. But in your area, in your vicinity, in your country, in your village, in your town, wherever you are this morning, what is going on there? Do you want to share with us for free? You can post it on our Facebook page if you're listening to us, or you can call in when the lines are open in the next 9 minutes as well. It is Starr Radio UK. Let's take a break and we'll be back.
Welcome to Gabby Dave Global. We are a UK-based online e-commerce store, the first of its kind with license to trade in African products. Some of the products are clothing brands and all beauty accessories, hair and beauty brands, natural aphrodisiacs, processed and dried unprocessed food. Our mission at Gabby Dave is to connect African and Caribbean businesses to customers globally. At Gabby Dave, we ensure our sellers get the best deal for their products. We are not just here to help you reach a wider audience. We are also a distribution center to support business growth by fulfilling orders to your customers from our warehouse, making sure customers receive their products on time. We are inviting all Black-owned businesses to trade on our platform because we strongly believe Africans have a unique brand the customer would appreciate globally. So get in touch today and let us make your product and business go far. Here are some of the benefits of using Gabby Dave Global. User-friendly platform, track your shipment, online support, transparent process, multiple SKUs, multiple products, a platform that encourages manufacturers as well as traders. Our marketing and PR interventions amplifies yours. Organized products and categories for easy access and navigation. Access to global community, especially within UK and Europe.
Everybody say, clap your hands.
Revival Choir, as I said this morning, I've enjoyed it and I like sharing. So I'm sharing that with you. Coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Take that. Yeah, God is good. Some way, somehow, you've been able to go through the first month. You are in the third day of the second month. So why not? God is good, of course. And that's the quote for the day. It said this morning, comfort can always be found in discomfort. So the challenges that you're going through, just relax, open your eyes. Somebody will say shine your eyes, look through it. The solution is in there. Somewhere, somehow you will come through it. So don't throw in the towel. There are a lot of issues where people talk about mental health and mental health. Yes, I agree with you there. I'm all for supporting people, but at times the answer is within you. Just open your eyes and shine your eye there, and like I said, take me. Alright then, let's move on to some of the stories making the rounds this morning. With me in the studio, Mr. Frank Davis. I am Archie. I will be having Kojo D and Felix and all the team joining during the course of the program. So wherever you are, don't you even think of touching the dial? Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, breaking news. I was trying to capture that for you earlier on, but because of the updates from Nigeria, so we needed to stick to the time or the ruling. But the breaking news that is coming on here, for those of you in the UK, yes, energy bills to rise by 54% a year for millions. Now they've come out with the percentage. Now millions of people will pay an extra 693 a year on their energy bills. From April, a rise of 54% of them has said. The regulator new price limit means 18 million households in England, Wales and Scotland will typically pay £1,971 a year for gas and electricity. Another 4.5 million people on prepayment meters will see an even bigger increase of £708 a year. Chancellor Rishi Sunak has outlined plans to soften the blow via council tax, rebates, and help with bills. We'll be going into those details. Frank, we knew that was coming, but now it's landed 54%.
On Monday, in fact, yesterday, I had a message from a tenant who says the electric is run out. They have said that's not possible because on Monday I got another person to buy the credit.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I'll check from the person because this gentleman who told me was the one who buys this. I said, okay, his girlfriend has gone to put emergency. I said that is practically impossible. It couldn't be possible. Now, the good thing about it is this morning when I woke up, I confronted a girl who I asked to top up. So she went to the meter and then took a picture of it and sent to me. There was credit on it.
Yeah.
So Frank, I'm surprised that I put £50 on the meter, less than 48 hours, now £28. I said, well, Nerissa, that was a problem. The bills are going up again and expect my letter soon. I said, expect my letter soon. You've now seen physically what it means when I keep on saying that energy bills are becoming unbearable. Actually, council tax is going up. All right? In this country now, wages are not going up.
The same rate.
Actually, over the last 10 years, we've grown a lot of people have grown poorer.
Yeah.
In this country.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're going to manage it. I was with one energy company that went bust. And now they put me to, they call it Eon Nest. And they are sending me a bill of £400, £450 a month. I said, look, the other house that we do pay as you go, we don't even spend that, not half of that amount. How come you're going to bill me £400 a month? So I quickly send them the final reading. I said, this is the final reading. On the 15th of February, I'm out of that house. You're going to send me the final reading because someone else is coming to the house. It's as simple as that. If you don't send me the final bill, I'm going to report them to FGM. Archie, the most important is Auntie Regina will tell you bills are going up and we're going to suffer.
It's quite a...
It's serious.
It's a serious thing. It's a serious thing.
It's
But
serious.
I'm asking myself, so what choices do people have now?
Ajay,
do you heat your house, or do you decide to use that money to buy food to eat, because you go to the supermarket and everything is like
there are technologies now that are available that people should consider. It's difficult when it's a tenanted house, but if it's your private house, they are now, you see the installation that we do, what they call the fiberglass one, is not a good installation. That's why when you go to the roof, you see that it's either cold or down, because heat rises. And once you heat your house, a lot of it evaporates to those walls. Now there's this technology where they spray foam. They now, that's what Canadians use.
Oh, okay.
Ice spraying. That's what Canada, or those Ottawa, Saskatchewan, those areas. That's the technology that they use.
Is it safe to use?
Very, very safe. It's safe to use it.
Certified.
It's certified, guaranteed for 25 years, and I mean they are now using it. And if you don't get a qualified person to do it for you, again it becomes difficult when you want to sell your home. So you need someone who is qualified to do it for you. They guarantee it for 25 years, which is more than the life of a mortgage. That you reduce your energy bill drastically, at least by 50%, because
is that what is
proven.
No, not proven.
Yeah.
Are they affordable?
Yeah, they are.
Is the system affordable?
The good thing is that they do both finance and it's on both finance and cash payments. Now, if you look at what you save, on a monthly basis on your bills, that can go into finance.
Okay.
That can go into finance because there's discounted finance available. So if it's going to cut your bill by 40% at least, and you put that money into that, and you're even charging you 5,000 or 6,000 for that over a period of time, you're far better off.
And then we might have to get somebody who is doing that particular listen, and then maybe get in touch with them.
I am meeting them today.
Oh, okay, good.
I am meeting them today.
We can tell them that we are going to.
I am meeting.
We are going to promote them. Okay. We had a pleasure.
Happy New Year. A surprise visit.
Queen Regina in the studio.
You know, Empress Regina in the studio helping us. So actually, those are some of the measures that people gonna look at. Another thing that I found very, useful is this. Water. Water is so powerful. You know, we have the gas that we do is water that heats the meter. So people can use hot water bottles, and what you do is that boil a kettle of water, put in the water bottle, put it on your bed, leave it for some time before you go to sleep. It warms out the,
like electric blanket.
Like that is it. Electric blanket sucks a lot. But what you can do, electric blanket, heat it before you go, but make sure your pillows and everything. I mean, we're gonna do adaptation. Kettle, if you use kettle, you're gonna boil water that you need, not water that you
I go and they fill the kettle and they boil. I said, what are you using it for? You make a cup of tea for yourself?
That's it. You boil the kettle, you leave it on, that water cools down,
and you boil
it again. We're gonna stop all those kind of stuff. Sometimes people go to the bathroom, while they are brushing their teeth, they turn what they call the electric on, and you know this is going to have effect on water bills, because water, those water companies who uses energy to process whatever they do, so it's going to cut across. You get me? So we need to find ways of basically, now those who cook a lot, assuming you cook.
We have to be buying food from.
No, not buying from food. You know, instead of cooking raw, I know people who will not eat food that is put in fridge.
Oh, okay. They don't want to.
So every time they gonna cook new food, fresh food.
Oh, okay.
There are people like that. Anything that is frozen, they don't want it. So we now have to, whether you have to plan your cooking, cook in bulk and store it. And warm it, and if you warm it, that's warm what you eat, not warm refreeze and all those things. So I mean, there has to be measures that people gonna look at. Unless you want today, we have to do or we have to start share cooking. You cook today, I come to eat tomorrow. But it's very, very difficult.
Yeah,
it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
I don't know how
people are going to survive. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Especially children. People with children.
Yeah.
People with children, I don't know how they're going to survive. You know?
Because in my house, I've told them that, look, if you leave your room and I come and I see light on, I see your telly on, anything on, I'll come and take the fuse out. I'll disconnect it.
Yeah.
So now everybody, before I said it before, about a month ago, I told them this is the new measure, and I'm expecting everybody to do that.
And I'm going to appeal to a lot of us who might be tenants in people's houses. Sometimes we pay the bills and we think that because we are paying our bills,
so we
can be responsible.
Yeah.
Yesterday I confronted someone. Like, you're not supposed to have another person in the house for that long. You came into the house, you didn't tell me you had a baby, and therefore, because you have a baby, the energy bills will be.
Yeah, of course.
Are you getting me? I ignore it. Now I'm told your father also has come. Too late. I said, I told the person this is not going to happen.
Yeah, you have to pay more.
You should have told me.
Yeah.
I gave you 14 days for someone, but once you start, bringing in people and they staying there, I paid it. If not, I've told everybody, let's spell letters. Because at the end of the day, I can't do anything. Council tax bills are going.
Yeah.
If not, you know what? Everybody go out.
Yeah.
Find your place. I give to one family.
Yeah.
I have my people. They pay their bills.
And
I
then
have no problem.
Yeah.
You know, but it's going to be tough.
It's going to be very tough time.
And if you someone who invests, this is the time to invest in energy companies.
Yeah.
Energy and drug companies. Do it because
they are the ones making the monies now, you know.
And people who can afford solar should go for solar.
Yeah,
those people can go for solar.
The other time I was monitoring something, reading some article about solar, and they were saying that now when you have the excess that you have that you want to normally the national grid would have taken that. Now if you are saying into them, they will charge you for that.
No, what I will do with solar now will be I'll concentrate more on what I am using.
Okay, so you get
concentrate more. Yeah, so whether they're going to
then you have to that one you turn everything on.
Yeah, I'll concentrate more on what I'm using. But if it's going to be me paying them to take my energy, I wouldn't do it. No, then they should stop it. I'll concentrate more on what I'm using. But if that's what is going to help, let's go for it.
It is 8 minutes past 12 Star Radio UK, the Thursday edition of the morning show. I have Mr. Frank Davis with me in the studio. We have Kojo D on the line. But let me announce the lines open so that if you want to join in wherever you are, you can also do so. Call us on 0208 133 2257 or 58. 0208 133 2257 or 58. If you happen to be in the US, Canada, the Caribbean area, and maybe you're also enjoying some nice rising prices there, share it with us. It's 00171830327737 00171830327737. You can text or WhatsApp. It's 0753966174. Our Twitter handle is Starr Radio UK and the email address is info@starradiouk.com. Kojo, good morning. Hey, it's
good
afternoon.
morning.
We've got to afternoon. Me, I'm still in.
It doesn't really matter. We are both in America and here. So let's say good morning, good afternoon.
Yeah. How are you doing, sir?
I'm all right. Thank you. Yeah.
Great.
Yourself?
Yeah, we're doing very, very well by the grace of God. Yes.
Great.
Now let's quickly look at this issue that we've just touched on pertaining to the 54% rise in energy prices. How do you see it?
I think that's a difficult one to make even sense of. But I think we all know why the price has gone that very high. All these games being played around, Russia being the chief game player, and the West. Of course, UK doesn't buy really from Russia. The people who really buy from Russia are
Germany,
Europe.
Yeah.
So
from Germany.
So once the prices go up in Europe, it goes up everywhere. And Russia is doing drip of what they want to get through to the market. But you can't really make sense of it. It's not just energy prices going up. The whole spectrum of fuel prices have gone up. whether you are buying diesel, whether you are buying gas, whether you are buying petrol, you are using electric. Don't forget, some of the electric power stations are powered by gas.
Yeah, everything is going up.
Yeah. So the whole lot, you can't make sense of it, really. You can't. On average, that is about £700 extra on the average bill payers. 1,300 already. So it's stretching people well beyond £2,000. I mean, how are we going to do this? Don't really know. How much gas do I need? How much gas do I even use? Sometimes I look at my monitor here. The whole day I've used probably £1 or maybe 50p. Right? But you still look at the monthly bill, it's somewhere that is unbelievable.
Because they tell you there's a standing charge. Yeah. Whether you use it or you don't use it.
Use it, they charge you for the standing charge, but the standing charge is not even making a difference. It's showing maybe, I'm looking at it now, it's showing 40p.
You're honest. You are a smart meter.
I have a smart meter.
You are a digital smart man.
Yeah, so you look at it, 40p. Every day you are going, say, I want it to be below £1. Right. So that is just electricity below £1. Gas also, you're looking at it below £1. I know sometimes in the summer, the gas that we only use in the house is about 40p the whole day because we're only using it for cooking.
Yeah.
But how do you even reconcile that the energy companies are adjusting? If you have a direct debit, you probably were on £60. Within a month, they now tell you that it is 120.
Kojo, hold on. You know what happened? Last woman when Iglo, we were going to go bust. After they've gone bust, they sent me a message. And my monthly bill was it varies between £55 to £70 on electric. Then they sent me a message. They were going to take £500 from my account. I said, thank you, God, for letting them send me a message. They said that's going to be their final. What do I do? They don't have control over my account.
You go cancel. If you come bust, go with your debt.
Go with your debt. Don't come and take £500 for what? I quickly canceled the direct debit. I said this one will go to that's these people who took over are looking at that 500 and then beginning to give me 400 and something. Am I brilliant in the house? Or what am I doing there? But Kojo, you see this issue about Russia, I think they are blaming everything on Russia for unnecessarily. Look, this is a country that has invested so much in wind energy. They have so much in even what they call solar.
Solar, and then the other one, what they call it, nuclear.
Nuclear energy, right? In fact, it is estimated over half of the energy we consume is coming from nuclear.
Yeah.
Anyway, so why do they continue to blame Russia and others? Yes, I do understand gas because they will tell us even North America, ships are coming from North America bringing them gas and other. But we know substantial. You depend on nuclear energy. So why always Russia? Are all these games psychological game to work on our mind to accept the fact that we now have to make more money for the shareholders of those companies and the big boys? One thing we are not hearing is that the energy companies' bosses' salaries are being
reduced. No.
Their prices are 50% up, 40% up, another percent up. And I tell you, after all this, by September, those in accounting firm and others will tell you, the energy bosses this would have tripled.
They will be smiling to the bank.
Well, that's one thing people were saying, that they should increase the taxes simply on the energy firms.
Yeah,
they should increase the taxes on energy firms. And but would that even solve the problem? I mean, there must be a way out of all these crises, energy crises as we see them now. Are governments ready to solve it? I don't think so, because rightly said, they might be blaming Russia for it, because Russia has the biggest deposit of natural gas in the ground. So if the prices go up in Russia, the wholesale prices go up because Russia decided to supply less into the market.
Yeah.
The market becomes, the demand goes up, as you know, in basic economics.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they're going to solve this. The only way out is to increase their capacity in nuclear energy and accelerate the development of nuclear power and accelerate the development of how to clean the nuclear waste that is generated as a result. I mean, and that is the only way. Some people don't buy into the nuclear thing because you understand the nuclear disasters that happen in Chernobyl and other places. That is why people are quite skeptical about some of these technology. But they have to accelerate. On a whole, UK is trying to invest a lot more into green energy. So as we know, they have the solar panels.
The wind farms.
They have new ones that work whole year, 365 year, whether there is a lot of sun or not. It will still work with a minimum temperature to collect energy. And whenever there is a storm, UK is quite fortunate. There's always storms. So the solar, not the solar panels, the turbines, the wind propelled turbines generate more energy.
Now my problem now is with our kind. You see, we are, when it comes to the income bracket, we are at the bottom of it. Now this is hitting hard. And we have kids that we are even already working 10 jobs, and still we cannot make anything out of it. How do we cope with it?
And the other thing is that actually, when you look at all the angles, we are the receiving end of all the blows. Because look, actually, for those of us who go to make a lot of noise about climate change and all those things, we sometimes do not think. I mean, people on benefit, they take from the state, and the measures that have been announced today are going to disproportionately benefit those on benefits than an average worker, someone who is struggling, but they vow to themselves that, look, in Nigeria we don't stay on benefit, and therefore whatever I'm going to do here to survive, I will survive. I'm not going to go on benefit. They are going to be those, but you see, they go on the street. And I'm not saying climate change is not good, but the rate at which we are pushing certain things,
it's too fast.
View, is too drastic, and that is creating a lot of problem. Now they are pushing all of us. They want to push all of us as animals into a heat pump revolution. You know how much that heat pump costs? That heat pump will cost you almost 18,000 to install. That 18,000 to install, you're gonna pay some bills anyway. Whichever way you look at it. I mean, your income and everything is. This morning, a friend called me. You realize that this is a lady who earns no less than £4,000 a month. Actually, she was complaining about bills, complaining about how to pay for them. I'm saying, look, these are people earning £4,000 and above a month.
They are crying, Now, what about those who are 1,000 plus?
Archie.
Wow. Well, listen, there's some information coming through says that the Chancellor Rishi Sunak has outlined plans to soften the blow via council tax rebates and help with bills. Now, this will provide the majority of families with a total of £350 to help them adjust to higher prices.
Who are those majority?
Fall into that category?
Who are these are mainly the same people they took the £20 a week from. Are you getting me? You are, and if you look at those of us in London, disproportionately the council tax has gone up. Council tax has gone up. A majority of us are not going to benefit from it. Now, disproportionately, we live in rented accommodations. And once you live in rented accommodation, your landlord is excluded from some of these cushions. And therefore, the bill will come straight onto you. So, all these announcements, it doesn't work for us.
Well, We hope to see. Well, meanwhile, in England, households in council tax bands A to D information you can find on your bill will get £150 discount from April. The Chancellor added. So, if you are from you are within band A to D, you're going to get £150.
That's for a year.
Yeah.
Okay, now
look at the increment.
Actually, council tax band D in Edmonton area has gone from an average of 160 now towards a 200 mark a month. All right. Now, so if you're going to Croydon here, I think it's almost past 200. Okay, Lambeth is past 200 because Lambeth council tax last year was about band, is it C or this one was about 190. So you cross into a 220 area. So when they're giving you, they're telling you 150. All they are telling you is that they're giving you what they call £12.20 out of the one of that. Now, if you look at mayor, the mayor's increment alone is an average of about £30. So what have they done? What have they done?
And you go to the shops. And
these are headlines. These are just meant for headlines, but not for us. They are for headlines, not for us.
Kojo.
Well, I am pretty sure that if we say we want to continue this discussion, we're probably not going to make any headway, really, because really we can't even understand how all these aids, what's out and which people are going to benefit, we don't even know. So I would just say, you know what, everyone needs to be sensible, really. I'm working home. I mean, when it was even extremely cold, I didn't even made an attempt to put on the heating. I just padded myself in extra warm clothes. But coming to think that I'm a young man, I can be doing this. What about people
the old people,
70s and 80s? How are they going to pad themselves? They can't put on extra layers of clothing to keep themselves warm. There is nothing they can do for some vulnerable people, rightly like Frank was saying. What is the benefit they're going to?
And you can't do exercise to keep you warm. Their needs are gone. Their needs. If you can't, you can ride a bicycle and
keep yourself warm. But this time around,
but, so that is the situation. I mean, they have to look long and hard as to what they needed to do. Look, the cost of living. It's really gone so high. Inflation is on an all-time low. We might be hearing even increase.
Well, let me announce that. The Bank of England has raised interest rates for the second time in 3 months.
They have raised interest rates.
They have. So the increase to 0.5% from 0.25%,
which means mortgages are going up. Your variable loans are going up. Credit card bills
going up.
So let's put it in a category: mortgage up, fuel prices up,
credit card bills,
food prices up, clothing up. I mean, how are we going to wages down?
But you see, Archie, in all this, for those of us who, especially those who are listening to us from Africa, and those of us who might be thinking of acquiring properties in Africa, whatever is happening here will happen pretty shortly in most of African countries. Because most consultants that we rely on, sometimes ignorantly, are from here, and they tell you, okay, you want loan from us, this is what we have done. We have actually increased prices, we have actually done this, we are just to cushion the economy. That's what we've done. Like the way they're throwing the madness, that one will come to it. I think if you're going to build a house now in Ghana or acquire a house or in Nigeria, and they say the first thing you should be thinking of source of water.
Okay.
Water bills are going up out of the roof without control.
In Ghana,
everywhere. So the and water in the next 25 years is going to be a very scarce commodity, and therefore you're going to see, because water bodies are getting polluted, it's costing more to treat, and therefore the bill is going to come to you more. If you can get your own water at home, all you need to
drill
put the pump. get a pump, get a political bank. Archie, it saves money. When I get to Ghana, I don't have to worry about water. I don't need a bill. It helps, Archie. If you can afford solar or even small wind turbines, please go for them. We need to start thinking outside the box. How do we become independent? We need to go back to the days where our great grandfathers will go for a village. There's no electricity, but they'll find a way of keeping themselves more and self-sufficient. I think that's the way forward.
Yeah. Well, listeners, it is 12:26. It's not been a good day so far.
No. Everything is up. Petrol up, diesel up, energy up, gas bill up, electricity up, food up. What?
Up. We are heading.
We are going to heaven.
That's it. Don't worry. We're getting close to heaven.
The only thing that hasn't gone up.
Wages.
This morning we're told that from March, grain fares are up.
Yes.
The only thing not going up is the money that comes into our pocket.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, listeners, it's Starr Radio UK. Now, one other story from the UK front, and then we can move on. This issue pertaining to the Northern Ireland Protocol when it comes to the Brexit seems to be causing lots of problem, and the EU seems to say that the UK is breaking an international treaty. Now, for the sake of our listeners who are listening to us who might not understand the heads and the tails of this, now, what protocol has been broken so far? Any of you, Kojo or Frank?
Well, I think what the issue is there had been an agreement to say that there has to be a check on goods crossing from the UK to Northern Ireland. So that was the initial agreement, and that had gone to and fro because Northern Ireland is in a part of the world that is sharing a border with the EU, which is Ireland itself. So that is where the issue is. And within our agreement, the one free trade of goods and services not subject to any border anywhere to cross between the North and the Republic. Right. So what they are saying is that goods coming to from the mainland UK to go up to Northern Ireland should be subject to checks to make sure they meet the requirements to go into a third country, which is a EU country. But I think what is happening is that that check is creating a whole lot of problems. So invariably, somebody over there in the government of Northern Ireland had decided that we're not going to do any checks anymore because the United Kingdom is one country. It's United Kingdom and Northern Ireland, one country. So come over, and when the goods come over, they can cross over to Republic. So I think that is where the real problem is. And UK is saying they've not broken anything, and Ireland is saying, look, you've broken the international treaty.
Well, UK will say they've not broken anything because it wasn't Westminster that announced that. It's not
problem because originally people were saying there might be a border in the Irish Sea. And then now the man who promised that there will be no border in the Irish Sea, where is he? He is also facing his own demons. Now, Grey number 2 is coming up, and the Met is also coming up with their own investigation. He's fixed on trying to save his political skin for him to be too much worried about promises that he made to people. So it's quite difficult to really. Somebody has resigned over that.
The First Minister Paul Given.
Somebody has resigned because they think if you've broken an international treaty, then what is going to happen? What is going to happen going forward?
If you look at it tactically, I mean, I think the announcement that came couldn't have been done without the knowledge of Westminster.
Yeah.
DUP and other things. They know exactly what they're doing. But if you look at it technically, the Northern Ireland did not sign any treaty with Europe.
It's the UK.
It's the UK that signed a treaty with it. So technically, they'll tell you they've not broken any agreement, and that's exactly the path they are pursuing. You get me? Which I don't think is right. At the end of the day, you govern over that territory. You basically take decisions for that. When you were negotiating, that area was part of the areas that form part of your critical decision making. So if something is going on over there, unless you're telling us that now they are no more under your control, assuming what has happened now, let's say the Republic of Ireland also decide, okay, we'll do something on the EU, say, okay, we're going to do something that might impact on Ireland. What will you say? Will you say, okay, this Northern Ireland, we don't care? The UK will go and say, it's part of our territory. Even Gibraltar, they say it's part of their territory. And you get me? I think if you look at the way Westminster, the people who occupy Westminster now things, and the way Akufo-Addo cabinet thinks, it's almost the same. They think they know it all, and they think they are the smartest. That's how it works. You know.
Okay. Listen at Star Radio UK 1232. We've got a few other stories to look at, but let me just bring some of the headlines. There was tension between the Home Secretary and Downing Street over whether to try to recruit a successor for Metropolitan Police Commissioner Dame Cressida Dick in the wake of controversy over the Sarah Everard case. Multiple sources are saying we know there's a banter going on there. The mayor wants her out. As to whether how are they going to have a replacement for her, as whether it's just being chasing a woman out of office, what is it going to be? But we just have to leave it there. We have to move on to some other stories. And then the party gate. Parties have damaged trust in government. Sunak is saying, but the Chancellor dismisses talk of him succeeding Boris Johnson, saying the Prime Minister has his full support. Do you think Sunak will be a good replacement for Boris should the worst happen?
I don't think it's going to happen. I do not think Sunak is going to succeed.
If the worst happens, you think that they would?
I don't think he's going to. Look, there are powers behind the scene. Richard Sunak had just come in. He was brought in by what they call Boris. He was pushed there to speak on economic issue. There was a queue. I mean, you being picked to present or represent economy doesn't make, yes, you've done what you have to do as this, and doesn't makes you what do you call it? It doesn't give you the blank check to jump over the queue. I don't see how he's going to. I mean, if this guy should step aside now, or they should push him out, you see people who put their names in the hat, and I don't think Richard Sunak is going to
be one of those.
No, he'll put his name over there, but I don't see how he's going to win.
Kojo, do you think that it's time for not a Caucasian, a non-Caucasian to, I mean, have the helm? I mean, with what is going on at the moment?
Well, as to it's time for someone from the minority, black or Asian or any other minority apart from white, British. I don't really know. That is subject entirely to the Conservative Party's own selection. If Prime Minister Johnson is chucked out, I mean, the letters are gathering momentum, so we don't know when that possibility will happen. But I saw one of the headlines from The Sun where he wrote and said he's probably contemplating he's not going anywhere from what is written. He's already thinking about election 2023. so as to they'll be able to throw him out now, I mean, that would be a difficult situation. They might want to wait until 2023 when he's promising to call election to get rid of him. But as this team goes up, there are so many contenders already showing their faces. Indirectly, they haven't straight ahead said they want to contest, because they all have to show support for him. But famously, if you remember, Sajid Javid threw himself into the ring during Theresa May's contest to hoist him out of office. And he came close to that level of being one of the top 4 people. But sooner or later, he threw down his gloves and said, I'm jumping and go. I'm not jumping. I'm jumping ship to go together with
Boris
Johnson. So you have to understand, he had weighed his chances and said, no. These my chances will not be bright. So as to Sunak being in a position to winning, I don't know. And if you look at somebody like the Home Office Secretary, Priti
Patel,
Frank's girlfriend. She, I think, is disliked. So she's not going to make it to the front anyway. So those are the only 2 really prospective individuals. It will be either.
May I see more Gove? I see more of either Gove, Jeremy Hunt, Rab. Rab, the deputy. I mean, I see more of them. But actually, you see, this country.
And Javid is also going to throw himself into the.
No, Javid will not go again. I do not think he'll go because look, Archie, whether we like it or not, one reason Gordon Brown was pushed out was because he was a Scottish.
Whether we like it or not, they won't let you. If you are not English, no, they won't.
I mean, the only person who came closer was, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Michael Howard.
Yeah.
It's going to be difficult. I mean, we're talking, it's an establishment.
Yeah.
To a large extent controlled by the Queen.
Yeah.
You're going to have audience with the Queen on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
This is an institution. It's not easy. It's not everybody who goes before Otum for him. You need to be cleansed.
That said, I mean, some people have been quite very angry with Howard and issue. They were not really happy that the way he was treated, he fought in opposition. Even when you look at Miliband, when you look at Miliband, the opinion polls then put him at a very good place to winning the election. I had somebody really said, but it was obvious that although the opinion polls were giving him a good winning, he wasn't going to win because again, it's the establishment don't like people of his kind. So if you're talking about Mike Howard, he's similar to Ed Miliband. They are of the same background. So and that is the issue here. Unlike in the United States, where it is slightly different, the minority population here is probably under 10%. So if you weigh those chances, even if you make it to the position where the Javids are occupying now, probably, and the Priti Patels, who is the 3rd most powerful.
The Priti Patel even has an issue now that I don't think that alone because there are calls now for her to be investigated. As we speak today, there are calls now for her to be investigated because evidence is coming out that crime figures were massaged, and that was something that she and the Prime Minister deliberately did lie to the public. So there are even calls now, and in this country, if you cannot be truthful with facts, if you deliberately mislead the public, it's only the common bigotry that took someone.
It's just somebody's bigot, and that cost him an election. So talk less, you massaging figures. Well, listeners, it's 20 minutes to 1. We have to bring the program to a close at 1 o'clock. But let's move on quickly to Africa because Kojo sent me a message that was Tuesday night pertaining to a coup d'etat that was taking place in Guinea-Bissau. Now we've sat here and we've talked about the fact that this is something that's going on in the French-speaking countries, but this is a Portuguese sort of a country. But then the president yesterday came out to say that, look, these are drug traffickers who were undertaking the coup. And then we had the ECOWAS and the AU coming out to say the military should go back to barracks. So I was like, wait, are you confusing the people? Is it if it's drug peddlers who who undertook whatever unsuccessful coup, you could say that we've apprehended them. But to say that the military should go back to barracks, that means that you're not telling us the truth there. So what is happening exactly?
Actually, people want to be able to polish the true story, and a politician, that is what they specialized in doing. At the end of the day, if we're talking about drug traffickers attempting a coup, did they infiltrate the military, or is the military inefficient to the extent that a drug cartel can attempt overthrowing the government? What is the military doing? They are military intelligence. What are they doing? So if that is what the president is saying, is self-admitting that
they failed.
The military under my command, because I have failed. That's basically what he's saying. Now, if it is the military, then we need to face what exactly is going on. And actually, yes, it might be a Portuguese country, but the systems are the same.
The Portuguese are close to the French.
They are the same. I mean, in fact, most of the territories were handed over to the French anyway. So, Cape Verde is still a Portuguese area and other things, but the French have a strong president. Portugal has gone down when it comes to in terms of influence. They've gone down anyway. So when he cannot say what is happening in or what happened in Guinea-Bissau, there are no elements that we can find or in what happened, or why we had a coup in Mali, or why we had a coup in what do you call it, Guinea and other things. I don't buy it. Look, fundamentally, economic hardship. Fundamentally, the political class are not governing for the people. Fundamentally, the governing class today are looking more how they should enrich themselves, living like. And actually, there's this audio that someone sent me about someone who called a lady trying to defraud her on phone in Ghana. Actually, when you listen to the boy, because the lady she called actually works with MTN. So the lady came out and said, look, started having a friendly conversation with this boy, telling him, look, what you doing, look, I do not have a problem if you're targeting people who are causing a problem, or people who are making your life, but you might be taking money from poor people, vulnerable people. So okay, since you work at the MTN, then give me the president's number and give me the minister's number. We can't get their number. It's you people your number that we'll get, and that is why we are targeting you. Go and tell the president that we are hungry. We are doing this because we are hungry. Now there was another guy who was selling something, went to a shop, desperately trying to sell something. The guy says something. He made a comment, and the guy was like, look, why are you telling me this? I'm only trying to find something to eat. I'm only trying to find something to eat. Look at what Akufo-Addo has done to the youth on the street over the crime. There's another one they arrested stealing something. He said, look, I'm doing it because I need to look after my mom. I need to look after my sick mom. So when you have all these desperate forces, and actually you wake up, you don't know where your next, you don't even know what you are eating. By 3 o'clock you are awake thinking, what are you having for breakfast? How are you going to get a job? Actually, it's difficult. They tell you go to school. You go to school, you end up in school, you complete, and
you go to university, your parents go loan all this money
and there's nothing. And there's nothing. We complain about prostitution increase. We complain about teenage pregnancy. What do you expect them to do? A lady sent a video recently. Said, look, for you parents who think free SHS is going to be, this is a student. You think free SHS, and therefore when your children ask you of money on campus, you say, oh, free SHS. So, you know what is happening? The teachers are using them as Bluetooth. That's what he said. That the teachers are using them as Bluetooth. They are brushing them. They are sleeping with them for them to be able to survive on campus.
Wow.
That's what and this is a student. This is a girl on campus. Are you getting me? So Archie, the desperation that is happening, you're not going to stop her from giving birth unless you want to introduce birth control, which is another thing.
Yeah.
Population is increasing.
Yeah.
Alright, desperation is increasing. So all these schools, I mean, this is just the beginning.
Well, Brown is continuing that. That's the beginning. Kojo, do you think? I mean, they're saying that it was drug peddlers who contended that. So we should take that, or as Frank has said, you think that there's more to it than meets the eye.
Let's put it bluntly: if the president is saying of Guinea-Bissau that is drug peddlers who try to take over the country, then look, me and Frank can organize 20 mercenaries to go and take over the country. What am I saying? What I'm trying to say is that if drug peddlers can stage a coup, then he should look at himself, whether he is very vulnerable to any military takeover. If drug peddlers who haven't got the sophisticated ammunition that the military will have are taking over, then it's worse than the military taking over the country. Anybody with a small army surrounded himself with, let's put it this way, drug money, as he claims, can take over the country, then the country is not fit for purpose. Its government isn't fit for purpose. Its government is not secure. The citizens are not secure in any way, any form, or anything. So the military might as well take over the country, and just there will be another coup. There will be another coup happening in that country. If he goes to tell international community it's drug peddlers or drug dealers, how many drug dealers take over a country in any nation on earth?
And he's even
in Mexico, they don't.
He's even admitting that
in Colombia, they try, they can't.
Part of his responsibility as a government is to be able to fight the menace of drug trafficking.
Exactly.
So even if you are admitting that, it means you have failed to even fight
it. He has no power in that country.
He should be resigning, actually.
Exactly. I mean, he is a shame on himself. He shouldn't even be saying that. And yet ECOWAS is saying is the military. So ECOWAS has intelligence, have had that intelligence, and he is trying to throw dust into people's eyes and say, no, it's drug dealers. If he claims it's drug dealers, he's not fit to be president of that nation. I haven't had any drug dealers taking over any country before. He should be ready for another coup coming. He's probably going to strengthen his
security,
town and security to and even that does not guarantee that there won't be any coup. It could be one of those people around him who will do
like is it the Mali one? Let's take over.
Remove him from office.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, listeners, I've got 11 minutes to bring the program to a close. So now let's land in Ghana. Wow. The e-levy, we're looking at the Houses of Parliament in Ghana, where at the moment it's at par, the numbers. So if the Speaker of Parliament is not there and the first deputy, what is his name again, Joe Wise, is supposed to take the helm, then that means that they will not be able to have the majority. The president is still insisting that they are going to pass it.
Archie, the arrogant speech that the president gave yesterday, whether it was a speech or whatever, for me, it defines how insensitive and how basically out of touch the government of Ghana has become. Archie, let me ask a question. Probably Kojo know more about taxation than any of us.
Yeah.
Kojo, if it is money that is needed, why do you think that government has not worked closely with the telcos to say, okay, you are charging 1%. we're going to increase your corporate tax so that you can at least increase what you are charging the people. So if it's 1%, the telcos will be backed by law because the law over there you are using their services, and then they go there to say, okay, we are now charging you 2%. Then the government will go to the telcos and say, I'm increasing your corporate tax on those services. Why haven't they done that? Actually, they have not done that because the e-levy, you see, every tax that you take must be backed by law. When you take it from the telcos, it comes under corporate law, corporate tax. Whatever they're supposed to use the corporate tax for has been defined by law. It goes to consolidated fund. You need to go to certain legal things to be able to
assess that.
A percentage of that money must go to certain statutory payments. Probably what get fund, all these things. Are you getting me? What they are looking at and this e-levy is to create a different stream of income with a legal documentation backing it to say that this is a different stream of income. And then they will use that document to go and borrow money. All they're trying to do to tie the hands of any government that to come to power. And I can tell you that most of the money that has been stolen is what will be borrowed back into the country. So even when they leave government, you are paying them into them. That's the whole. It's not about the 7 billion that they need. It is not. It's to say that yes, we have now a stream of income that we can go and put as a collateral and borrow, because we got a few thousand less than 1,200 days to be in government. Let's borrow now and take as much as we can. Why didn't Akufo-Addo tell us yesterday why he's increasing his expenditure, his contingency portfolio has increased? What has been set aside that he can go into has been increased from 395 million to 995 million.
Wow.
Okay, now his budget, the office of the president's budget, has been increased by almost 500 million. Okay, Akufo-Addo, his staff, which we know the political anywhere boys have been, is now being increased from 1,600 to 2,100. Why has he not told us that henceforth you should not charter a flight? Are you getting me? Why has he not told us that the Land Cruiser, the $200,000 plus Land Cruiser that is changed every year to carry his chair will now stop? Actually, it's mind-boggling. This, for me, their government, but to be honest with you, I don't know. Ghanaians will need to sit up. Ghanaians will need to fight it. Ghanaians will need to do whatever they have to do. Because whatever it is, when they pass it now, if you come as a government, you cannot cancel it.
You have to go back to
you can't cancel because they already use it for loan.
Surety to get a loan. Okay.
You can cancel. That's exactly what they're trying to do. That's exactly what they're trying to do. Why do you think Akufo-Addo even want Bawumia to take over from him? Bawumia opposed e-levy initially, but they are not tying his hands because they don't care about him. All they care about how much money they can snatch away before they can go. How they can recycle the stolen wealth. That's what they do.
Wow. Kojo.
Yeah. E-levy in Ghana. If we start Ghana, I think some of the analysis, frankly, is perfectly correct. I mean, whether it is corporate tax you want to change, whether it is taxation in personal taxation you want to change, everything must go through Parliament for approval. So the easiest one they could do, because at the moment, even raise corporation tax, they are not sure how much money they're going to get from raising tax on corporate people. So they can only give an estimate. But when they raise tax on individuals and knowing the trend, they already have the data of how much money people.
Okay, listeners, bear with that. I think Kojo is now on the move.
They can actually go.
Yeah, go on,
Can you
Kojo.
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, I said on that, they can actually tell how much money they're going to make. And rightly, like Frank said, if you go to borrow money, look, personally, if I go to a bank to borrow money, what do they look at for? They look at the source of my income.
Yeah.
How am I going to pay that money back? So it's the same. When they go to international organizations to borrow money, the international organizations are going to be like, what will be the source of income to pay off this debt? Then they're going to show the data. You know, they'll show the data that, look, this is a historic data of how much we get via mobile money each year within the country. So this is a transfer. So this is how we intend to pay by this percentage of raising the money. And that's all they will do. And once they borrow for another 10 years, anybody who comes into power, rightly Frank said, will continue to have that commitment to pay that money.
Wow.
So that is the actual issue. That is why it needs to be fought and resisted. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if the president is saying that they're going to pass it, how are they going to do it?
Interestingly, they are using some political gymnastics pertaining to that. I say,
and you see, Kojo, Archie, sorry, I cut you.
Yeah, that's
sorry,
okay.
Kojo. The other thing with that tax and everything that they are telling us is, Archie, they're taking Ghanaians for fools. Look, they're speaking. Yesterday, I heard Ken Japan talking about how he went and bought a Mercedes Benz.
Yeah, with his excess money of $151,000
something thousand. And what shocked him was that the cost of the Mercedes Benz itself was $135,000, but because of the tax element in it, he has to pay more. Ghanaians should accept to pay tax and other things. And I asked myself, hello, are they not? Why are they telling Ghanaians they are not paying tax? So the person who sent me that, I sent him a receipt of a purchase that was done, where you are charged get fund tax, this in tax, this in tax. They're insulting the intelligence of Ghanaians. And look at the inconsistency. That look, if you look at Kojo Prom, he says there will be no salary for government workers if e-levy is rejected. That's Kojo Prom. You look at Akufo-Addo, free water and free electricity cause the state pay e-levy to restructure the thing. But they told us that, what do you call it, the COVID fund. And they told us that
they had a loan of 1 billion.
That
so
was they told us that they use it for that, right? Again, you look at Kenoforiata, pay e-levy or Ghana goes back to IMF. Who is holding them? Because they don't want to go under the discipline. Okay, and then accept e-levy and will complete the purchasing of presidential jet aircraft so that the president will not continue to run private jets.
Who said that?
That Dominic Intiwold. That did
he's lost the screws.
What they call it. And then you look at Ofurata, e-levy will create 1 million jobs. We had a yes fund. We have youth in agriculture. How many jobs have they created? You go again, Afenyo Markins. NAPCO has ended. Pay e-levy so that government can create more jobs. NAPCO was supposed to be a temporary job. They told us it's a permanent job. They didn't envisage e-levy before. So those NAPCO people, have they all gotten permanent jobs? Another fraudulent statement. Kusibuafo, choose e-levy or there will be no free SHS. A free SHS is being funded by a portion of the heritage fund, oil fund. That again is fraud. E-levy will be used to build roads for Ghanaians. Amwakwata, why did you stop the road fund? Are you getting me?
Yeah.
We were building roads before.
Let me just say one thing. You know, they are desperate. That's all you can see in all those headlines you've read. It's just a simple desperation to get the e-levy through at all costs. So they're coming up with things that people already know, that there are other things that support the funding of those other, institutions like the NAPCO or any other expenditure government is making. So they are just desperate. It is called desperation. That's all it is.
And
you can go on.
Yeah, and you see, Archie, I will not be surprised if there's a diabolic action. This is might be a wide imagination, but it's possible that everything is being done to lay the foundation for a coup in Ghana, and it's a deliberate coup that will be engineered by Akufo-Addo and his people to escape prosecution after they've left government. So they want to tap into the anger of the youth, and then there will be a stage coup. They instigate a coup controlled by them themselves. I told you evidence, or there's information, credible information. The 1981 coup was instigated by Liman himself. Because they wanted to overthrow Liman. Some people wanted, and Liman had to work with Jerry to instigate that coup. Okay, that is exactly what Akufo-Addo and others want to do. They want to provoke the public anger. The military will step in. Oh, a coup has come, so let's write a new constitution. They oppose the constitution they are using anyway. So that will create way for a new constitution that will favor them, because they will be in charge of creating that constitution.
Wow. Well, tough times ahead. But we're seeing tough times
of that nature happens. That's all we hope.
Yeah.
We just hope. I mean, otherwise it's going to set the country backward for several 2 more decades. And we just hope that this idea, that's my concluding thing, this idea of the fact that once there is e-levy, it solves the country's economic problem. I think it's not true. It doesn't solve the economic problem. The economic problems after e-levy and everything is still going to be there. When Ghana was forgiving its whole debt under Kufuor regime, we thought we have a slate wiped clean to have a new beginning. We've gone round in the next, after 22 decades, we are back to the same position we were.
Worse off
as a country, Ghana.
Worse off.
I mean, we just hope that, I hope sincerely that they don't force e-levy down the throats of the citizens.
Well, Kojo, let me say thank you very much.
Thank you also.
Yeah, have a lovely day. We'll catch up later. Tomorrow. Yeah, right then. It's worrying. Honestly, it's very, very worrying. It's very, very worrying. I mean, when you come to this part of the world, you see that now the Prime Minister is being investigated. So you see the systems seem to work, and therefore we'll check.
The system works.
Yeah, but when it comes to our place, even if there's no coup, I mean, we're talking about the fact that coup will set people the nation back. But with what is happening, the nation is being set back already, because it's just a handful of people who are enriching themselves, and they'll have majority of people being at their doors begging for bread to eat.
Now, I mean, you listen to this one from Keno Furata. Was it yesterday that e-levy is necessary? We can't depend on. No, I mean, it's a e-levy will make all of us responsible for protecting the public purse. Actually, I look at it and say, is this guy on some jet fuel?
How stupid
jet fuel mixed with achampon leaves, extract from achampon leaves and jet fuel? Because at the end of the day, are you telling us? So this is you are admitting that you have been irresponsible. That's what he's saying. Which finance minister in the world goes to borrow and come and throw a kenke party because they've borrowed? Which they say? You remember 2 years ago, Akufo-Addo praised him that he praised him because he's funneling public funds into a family. What do you call it? Family coffers. So Akufo-Addo doesn't lose anything. And Archie, I tell you, everything that we're doing here is a desperation to mortgage the future of this country for the next 10 years, and to hold the hands and the head, put the hands of whoever succeeds them in their pockets. That's exactly what they are doing. They've captured, what do you call it? They've captured the financial sector. The insurance sector has been captured again. The airport, Magdan, they are behind it. State capture, 30 years agreement signed. Akufo-Addo's daughter has been given a terminal that Akufo-Addo contributed nothing to building. Are you getting me? That the duty-free shop over there, no training, this thing was given to the daughter. It's a serious state capture. Every productive sector, every sector of the economy that oils the wheels of the economy to move. They want to control it. They want to be in charge. They want to be the hungry, the Boris that are in those wheels. You look at Jubilee Oil Field now. They've gone to open what they call Jubilee Holding. The state, what they call it, Kenu Furata, without permission from Parliament, has to use the state money at a family meet after a family meeting, agreed to spend $169 million dollars of Ghana cedis to pay what they call it, oil companies to release the 7% of that stake. And that stake, you know who is holding it? Is who being held by KK Sapon and what do you call it, Frody Blay. I don't call him Freddie Bribe. I call Frody Bribe.
We got Lion Muhammad. We got Frody Bribe.
Not Frody Bribe. He's Frody Bribe. Is he not the one who went and said he's giving each constituency a car? Put the account for where it's coming from. So me, I call him Frody Bribe. He bribed his way into this. So Archie, we need to be concerned. We need to be concerned. Look, I do politics. But Archie, these are desperate times in Ghana. Where we are heading to are desperate times. When I was at the speaker's office, I was shown certain documents. Actually, they are desperate because they had room to pay even our interest rates so high. Do you know what the banks are doing now in Ghana? If you look at the borrowing sheet of the banks, the lending, who they've lent their money to, actually 75 to 80%
government
of banks' money goes to government securities, because that is a sure way of making the money. How do you expect a businessman? They've actually borrowed money and are starving the business community of funds. So if you are a young man from secondary school, you are a young man from university thinking that you're going to get money to go to any bank, they'll give you excuses. The mortgage industry in Ghana is collapsing.
Wow.
The mortgage industry in Ghana is collapsing. It's collapsing. An estate developer is saying we found out that people can buy properties now.
They can't afford. They don't have.
They can't afford. They can't afford. You go to car sellers, you go to car dealers. There are cars over there. People can't afford. And we are not looking at closing the holes, the loopholes that are, letting all this money go. Why have Akufo-Addo not spoken, or the finance minister spoken about the 12.8 billion that went missing in 2020 election year? An election year. $12.8 billion.
It went into bribing people, so buying.
Are you getting me? Archie,
honestly,
you know what? If you want to follow these people,
you have pressure. You suffer this and that.
All these statements that they are making.
No, it doesn't make sense, because this town hall thing that they are doing.
Archie, we are dealing with what I call Insafufo People's Party. They are drunk. That town hall that they held at Koforia. Why did they screen people that came in? Why didn't they allow
everybody in the town to come in?
The question, most people were MPP.
Why didn't they allow people?
In development economics, we have something we call pretend public participation, where you gather people to put on record that yes, you consulted.
PPP.
That's what they are doing.
Well, listeners, we want to say thank you very much for joining us today. It's been quite an interesting time from the UK front to other parts of the world, especially in Ghana as well. What do you think about all that is going on there? Do you think the e-levy should be passed? Well, they said that if we pass the e-levy, then we know this is our own money, so we have to protect it. So far, what have we been doing? The taxes that we pay, are we just spending it because that is not our money per se? Well, if you think you want the e-levy to be passed, the bill to be passed, well, hands up. If not, well, let's come your way tomorrow once again and let's have a look into it again. Well, it's been a pleasure coming your way, and let me say thank you very much, Mr. Frank Davids, Mr. Olayomi Koike, and Kojo D. And from me, myself, Archie, we want to say have a lovely day. But remember, this afternoon exactly at this evening exactly at 6 o'clock. We'll be bringing you BB Means Business, and it will be followed by the Property Hour show with KB Botsman as well. On that note, enjoy this song from the Zongo Man. He knows it and he sums it all. This is a prophecy that he gave, and it's so true this time. The problem of Africa.
The problem of Africa is the lead. Africa. Who run things, who run things, who run things. The problem of Africa is the lead. Africa. Who run things, who run things, who run things. Them all go to universities. Universities award them degrees. Big degrees. 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 Big degrees. MSc in stealing. Bachelor of Arts, mismanagement. Another degree. Masters in looting. MSc in corruption. Bachelor of Science.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening.
MSc.
Thanks for listening.